So welcome to the channel. If you're new, thank you for visiting Filthy Rags Garage. Really appreciate you coming by and checking out my videos. Please check out anything else you got after you finish watching this video. Got some great stuff out there, some new stuff, some old stuff on cars. You might find something you like. Appreciate you coming by. If you are new, the next few minutes may not make sense to you, but please just give me a few minutes and then we'll get to the good stuff. To my subscribers, I need to apologize to you and try and explain why I have not been here or why I've been gone from YouTube for almost a year. Now, I'm sorry for leaving you guys without a video or a new video or at least an explanation before I left and had this vacation. So after watching a documentary about the inner workings of social media, I felt guilty. So the documentary describes social media customers as users, and there are only two industries that call their customers users, and that's the illegal drug and software. That made me feel like a dealer. If you guys are users, I'm the dealer. I'm giving you something to use. But you guys are amazing. I wasn't here, not posting anything on YouTube for almost a year, and I kept getting views. You guys kept watching videos. You kept sharing the videos. You kept commenting on the videos. And I believe I interacted with every comment I had received during this time, but I was not posting anything new. And all of that made me realize why I had done this in the first place, why I had started this. It was for you guys. I'm going to be working on my vehicles regardless, whether I make videos or not. I'm still going to do my own stuff. I'm still going to try and get Alberta here running and roadworthy and hot rodding this thing. I'm still going to do my own maintenance on the family vehicles. Anything that breaks, I'm going to fix it. And I'm going to make a video about it. Whether I make the video or not, I'm still going to do that stuff. And apparently, with all of the interactions I was getting from you guys during this downtime, you guys are going to watch videos regardless, whether I make them or not. And it kind of made me feel good. You guys were still out there doing this stuff without any new content. Again, I apologize for not giving you anything new or explaining why I wasn't here. But you guys are just amazing. It really touched me that you guys kept doing this. You kept watching, you kept commenting, you kept sharing. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but YouTube will let me look at those statistics. Not only how many views I get, but how long you guys watched it for, how many shares I got. And of course it alerts me in the comments, and I try and interact with you guys that way. But now that we know all of this, now that I have addressed my problems with this, or my concerns with this, and you guys understand how I feel about it, if you want to watch the videos, great. I'd love to have you here. I'd love to interact with you guys in the comment section and give you guys what you want. If not, that's fine too. I don't want to force you to do anything, and I don't want you to be manipulated by a system into giving your time to it. And I think that's where a lot of this came from. I felt like I was contributing to something that was trying to manipulate the customer or the user into staying and maintaining that user status. So with all that said, if you still want to watch my videos, I greatly appreciate it. I really hope you guys stick around. I'm going to be doing this stuff anyway. I hope you enjoy watching it. Without any further ado, let's get into the wrenching. You ever have those moments where you take a step back and you realize how deep you just stepped into it and you didn't even mean to? You just kept going and attacking at it, thinking, oh, I'll just take care of this, or oh, I'll do that, and now that I'm here, I might as well go ahead and do that. And then you realize it's about right up to your chin. And it's not going to be done anytime soon. That's kind of where I'm at right now. This was unplanned. I was just going to vacuum the trunk out and try and get this thing ready to sell.
Filthy Rags Garage.
Thanks for stopping by the channel. Really appreciate you coming by and watching these videos, especially this one. Started out, I wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video. Actually, I hadn't planned on it at all. It started out where you know, my daily driver, my 2003 Mazda Protege. Was just going to clean it up, you know, clean the seats, vacuum it out, wash it, you know, try and polish up the paint as best I could, you know, polish that turd, make it look good. And I was going to sell it and use the money to put air conditioning in Alberta. If you're not familiar with Alberta, she's over there. That is my 79 F100 inherited from my grandfather. I got more videos on that. I'll try and get a card up here or a link or somewhere, wherever it goes. I'm not sure. It's somewhere here on the screen if I did this right. You guys can watch videos on that. But today, like I said, I was just planning on cleaning out the Mazda, getting it ready to sell it to maximize profit. So put in the work, don't spend money, help you make more money. And apparently I had a leaking problem and didn't even realize it. Like I said, I wasn't planning on making this a video, and then I realized how deep I was, and I should probably include you guys. So this lip here, you guys can see this ridge, is where this seal sits on. Now that ridge goes in one of these grooves, and then it seals against the trunk lid when it closes. You can kind of see where that's been closed for a long time. So cleaning this out, take that back. I'm vacuuming out the trunk, and I find some of the carpet and matting is wet. And so I start peeling it back, trying to figure out what's going on. And oh my gosh, there was about 3 or 4 inches of water sitting over here. And it was the exact same on this side. So I took all of the carpeting out. Thank goodness this wasn't ruined. I mean, you can kind of see a water stain here, but it's still really hard. It's not floppy. It hasn't been swollen from the rain. But I couldn't find the source of the water leak until I got up in the trunk, and I saw this rust here, and follow it to the top side, and it's right where, stupid thing, get out of the way. It's right where that seam is, right here. So I saw the seam on the other side even when this was here. I thought that's got to be it. So I just peeled this off and found 4 areas that were completely rusted out. So it was this corner here, and then mirrored of those two. So this corner up here where the seam is, and then this corner here. And coincidentally, there is a seam here as well. I'm not sure if that played a part in it or not. But you see the rust went all the way up to this point. I'd already cut it out. And it had come down and just, I mean, you can kind of see how thin and flimsy that metal is there. And it actually, I considered cutting it out past this bracket, but I don't think I'd be able to get that bracket back in. So I just hit it with the wire wheel, got rid of as much rust as possible. And I just had some aluminum sitting around. So I cut this to shape and got it in there, and then that's about where I realized I should probably include you guys. So I'm going to kind of go through the process I did on this side with you guys on the other side. It didn't quite sound right. So I'm going to repeat this process on the other side, but I'm going to take you guys with me along this time. You guys can kind of see how I did it. Now, this is a curved section, not the easiest thing in the world to do. And that's also why I did not cut out this flat section, because I don't have the ability or skills to make this piece this way and this way while it's curved. But so I guess we'll jump into that now, how you can kind of try and fabricate your own pieces with hand tools, and show you guys what I learned and how I struggled and did things the wrong way. Hopefully you guys can learn from my mistake. Alright, so I took this piece of scrap aluminum I just had sitting around. It was some kind of bracket or something, I don't remember exactly. But you can see I just laid it up here and drew a line with a Sharpie, and then cut that out with my angle grinder. Now I like using these smaller wheels. I mean, you can't buy them like this. This has been worn down and used a lot. But I'll save these. I don't throw them away just because I take them off. When the cutoff wheel is smaller like that, it allows you to make tighter radius cuts. I mean, this isn't a very tight radius. I mean, that's not a tight radius. So it's really simple. Just lay it up there, draw on it with a Sharpie or a pen or whatever you have that'll actually mark on your material, and then cut it out, and you end up with this. And that sits in there like so. Now I'm going to drill holes up here, one hole here and then one hole down here, and just use pop rivets to hold it in place, and then see, it's actually fairly straight. Oops. It'll be just like that, held in place with the pop rivets, and then I'm probably going to use some JB Weld or some seam seal or something like that to actually seal it up to the car metal itself. So I'll probably wire wheel this a little bit more, knock some more of this rust off, put some rust converter paint on or something of that nature, and then put this piece on and spray paint everything once that's all dry, and then it should be sealed. So my wife brought up a good question. Why am I putting in this much effort when it's only going to increase my resale value by $50 or $100? And I don't know how long it's going to take me to sell this thing, and with the amount of water I found in the trunk, it's not safe to have that in here. I mean, the carpet and the padding was wet in the trunk. It may have started to grow mold if I had left it in there any longer. I don't know how long it had already been leaking in there. I don't want to risk it. Sometimes my kids are in here with me. I don't want to risk them breathing in that mold and stuff. You know, it's just, I'm going to fix it now. So even if it takes me a year to sell this thing, I'm protecting myself, even if it doesn't increase the resale value. And I don't want to sell a piece of crap to someone knowing it had this issue and it's going to leak water, and then they are potentially exposed to mold. I'm not that type of person. I don't want to do that to people. You shouldn't either. Alright, so I got this piece done. You know, I drilled the hole for one rivet and just placed the rivet in. I didn't actually pop it in place or, you know, have the rivet permanently locating it, but it's just there as a placeholder. And then I marked the second hole, but you know, just kind of bent it a little bit with some pliers. But these top corners are going to be more of a problem. Wow, it's raining. Of course it's raining. It's Florida. Like, it's bright and sunny. I mean, half the sun is behind the cloud. The other half is out shining on me, and it's raining directly above my head. Awesome. Let's see if I can do this without getting electrocuted or dying. So I got this old out of the recycle bin. It's an oatmeal box. I just cut it up and then cut out this little piece, and then just laid it up here, keeping in mind to leave enough space over here that I can leave, or I can drill a hole for the rivet, and the same thing on this side. Just have it follow this curve. This isn't the easiest thing in the world to do, and again, leaving enough space overhang here that I can drill a hole and place a rivet there. So now I'm just going to take this, lay it down on my aluminum, trace it out with my Sharpie, and then cut that out, and then I'll just bend it by hand or with the pliers again to make it have the curve to fit this. I think I'm going to go do this in the garage now because it's actually raining pretty good on me now, and I don't want to get electrocuted. Okay, so we are about to jump forward. I apologize for that. Progress was happening. I got excited with the progress. I wanted to keep this train going and just get this done, and I realized I hadn't recorded any of what I'd done at all this day. So we're going to jump forward right now, but I'm going to catch you guys up. So I got the pieces cut, these aluminum cut, and then I just pop riveted them in. You know, I got a piece here and a piece here. We're going to talk about this in a second. So I got a rivet there and a rivet there, and then the same thing up here at this corner. You know, two rivets here. And then I went ahead and taped off everything, which took the most amount of time. That was a struggle. And I put on this black paint, which is a rust converter. It says it immediately converts rust, or kills rust, whatever. I guess convert is the technical word I should be using. And it will not rust anymore. And I also found this strip of rust. There was some kind of caulking or sealant up here that was just flaking off, probably because there was rust underneath it. So I got that off, wire wheeled it, got the big chunks of rust off as much as I could, taped that off as well, and now I just got this old sheet that I use down here in the garage, an old bed sheet, and I'm going to paint this. Now I put the sheet up here because it's just easier to throw this up here real quick than it is to, ooh, look at the wind, than it is to try and tape off the entire back glass and all of this paint up here that I'm probably going to miss, and the wind may push it up here and get all over the car. So easier just to throw that on and do that. So I'm going to throw a coat of rust converter on that real quick, and then we'll come back and see how it looks. Oh, and I'm going to leave the tape on. I also have, take a journey over here inside the garage. This was the closest I think I could find to the color of the car itself. Some kind of silver metallic finish. I think once it's on there and I wax it, maybe sand it a little bit, it'll blend in really well. But I gotta let the rust converter paint dry. The directions say for 24 hours, so I'm going to put this strip on now and then let it sit until tomorrow, and then leave the tape on, put the color paint on, follow the directions for that, and then we'll see how it looks from there. So just kidding, I forgot a step, but we're going to show you that now. I forgot to mention that we have to seal these up. The aluminum wasn't welded in or anything like that, it was just rivets used to hold it in place. And then I'm going to use some JB weld to fill up the holes that's there, or the gap between the aluminum and the car. Sand that down, and then we will put color on. So here you can see the JB weld that went on. Came in a pretty nice syringe kit. You can just put some out on a piece of cardboard, mix it up with the stick that's supplied, and use that same stick to apply it. So I'm going to sand this down so it's not such a rough transition from the car to the JB weld. I'm going to do it everywhere. You know, this I put on paint, and then I realized I forgot to do the JB weld, so sand that down and then repaint that, and then put down the silver that I hoped matches, or close enough matches that no one will notice. Besides, it'll be under a gasket anyhow, and then we'll come back and see how it looks. Okay, as you guys can see, the metallic paint that I chose doesn't even come close to matching. It's pretty bad. And the JB weld was really hard to sand down. I was actually getting through the original paint and down to bare metal in some spots, and I really wasn't sanding the JB weld anymore, so I figured I would just leave it how it was. You know, knock off the rough edges real quick and then throw this paint on. But that looks pretty bad. I mean, it's fixed, it's sealed. I took my hose really gently and just ran the stream up here. You can see there's a little bit of water left. And the water just ran around like it should, all the way down and out. Actually worked pretty well. So now it's just time to clean this up, put the rubber seal back on. Oh, we're going to vacuum out in there. Oh, I got some CLR to clean some of the rust stains in there. There's a little bit more down there. So I'll clean this out, get everything as neat as possible, and then start putting it all back together. Oh, and actually next project is we're going to do the seats that are right there. Okay, well here it is. Got the seal put back on. It's going to go against the trunk lid. Got the pressed cardboard stuff that covers the spare tire down. Got the carpet down. I took that inside and vacuumed it with the house vacuum because it has the agitator wheel, and it helped clean this a lot easier and faster. Then I used some soapy water and just a light brush and a rag. Scrubbed it and cleaned it, the parts that were dirty and needed to be cleaned. It reminds me, this car looks pretty good when it's clean. It's not too bad. You know, I mean, it gets good gas mileage. It's not the fastest thing in the world. It handles pretty well. I mean, it's a Mazda. They've always made their cars to handle well, but hopefully that means it'll sell quick. So I'll finish fixing all the little things around it. You guys will come along with me for that, and then we'll try and polish it up a little bit, make the paint look a little bit better, not so bad. I'm not trying to be dishonest or hide anything, but I just want it to look nice so it sells easier and faster. So now it is time to clean the seats. We're going to clean the entire interior, so don't worry, we're not skipping that. But I'm going to focus on the seats because that's going to require the most amount of work. Now, this is my daily driver. I just take it to work, maybe to the grocery store every now and then. So the seats were this dirty when I got it. Please don't judge me on how dirty these seats are. My disclaimer, I didn't do it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But it is really hot today. I got my nice handy dandy tent put up, and I'm going to spray some carpet or upholstery cleaner with a scrub brush and give it a little scrub, and then we're going to use one of my favorite tools, the pressure washer or power washer, whatever you want to call it, same thing. I might do a small area without the cleaner and just the pressure washer and see if we can show how effective that cleaner is or not effective it is, or if the pressure washer just blasts it all the way anyway. So we'll give it a shot, and I might have a cool camera angle for you guys. Okay, so that actually worked out way better than I thought. It did seem to work better, or clean the seats better, after using that upholstery or carpet cleaner first and then scrubbing it. Now, I'm not endorsed by anybody. None of these products were supplied to me or given to me. I just had an old brush laying around, sprayed the cleaner on there, scrubbed it with that old hairbrush, and then hit it with the pressure washer, and the stains came out amazing. So the cleaning process definitely worked better using the upholstery cleaner first and then pressure washing. The pressure washer obviously would get dirt out, gets a lot of the gunk and nastiness out of the fabric and the carpet, but putting that cleaner on there first really helped break up those stains and get those stains off with the pressure washer. So now I'm really motivated to get that passenger seat out. Oh, important message. It's okay to pressure wash these without any major concern. One, I'm using a 25-degree angle on the pressure washer, so it's not so pinpoint or fine point that it's going to tear or rip the fabric. Next, none of these seats have power to them. They are all manual adjust. Actually, the rear seats don't adjust at all. The two front seats are manual adjust, but there's no power to them. Now, I am going to leave them out here in the sun as much as I can, and standing up so the water will drain down and out. You can kind of see that already, how wet the driveway is. Leave them out in the sun all day tomorrow. Honestly, I'm just going to leave them out until I feel comfortable with them being dry. So there's the rear seats being cleaned, and yes, I like using gasoline and horsepower to do everything, because this is America. That's how we do things. Okay, so you've seen how this process works. We're going to do it here on the front passenger seat now. I'm not going to bore you with all the details on what we just did and saying the same thing over and over. So here's the before, and here's the after. We now have a clean front passenger seat. Now this took more than one day. It took more than one wash. It had a very bad stain over here in the corner. So I went back to the store and got something with some OxyClean in it, and I used that twice, and it got rid of all of the stain here, all of the stain here, and there's a tiny little bitty stain here that you can see left, but it was, it was almost like a big circle right here that was still stained in brown. But you're not going to see this if you're not looking for it, but as far as I'm concerned, that's good for now. Now we're going to move on to the front driver's seat, and I think the interior will pretty much be done. And there it is. The seat is now in its upright position. All of the bolts are torqued to spec. And while it was out, before I put it in, I went and vacuumed up the carpet as best I could, agitated it, got all that dirt out, and I even cleaned up all these plastic trim pieces behind the seat that you normally can't get to. And so this side is done. Now we're moving on to that side. Okay, now that the interior is done, we're now going to put all of our attention on the exterior. So I've already cleaned the wheels. I did that yesterday, but my kids were out running around making a lot of noise, and I had no good footage I could use without my kids being in it or making noise in the background. Really couldn't see anything. So I'll just show you what it looks like now. So here I actually removed the wheel and I cleaned the inside, and you can see it's actually nice, shiny painted aluminum in there. Looks fantastic. And the wheel looks really good itself. There are some curb rash that was done before I owned the vehicle. Tried to clean around the center cap, pop that out, used a toothbrush to get that cleaned up, and I think they look amazing. It looks so much better in there. It was just bronze colored brake dust all around the inside, and that just looks amazing. So that is done. I did use some very good wheel cleaner. Looked up online, read a couple reviews, and this stuff, not paid advertisement, worked very well. I'm highly impressed with how the wheels turned out. I'm going to get this pinstripe off and detail the car as best I can. I'm going to wash and wax and polish this thing up and make the paint that is already decent, you know, from about the pinstripe down, as nice as I can. Looking at this sticker, this is pretty cracked. I'm going to remove that too. But that's pretty much it. I'm done. Interior's done and clean. Just going to polish up the outside, clean that up. That's pretty much it. I don't think we're going to see Maggie the Mazda anymore. Hopefully this is the last time you guys see her as well. It wasn't a very exciting car for me. It was a great commuter, good gas mileage, it never broke down, didn't have any major problems. It was just dirty and neglected when I got it. Took care of a few things, and that's it for now. So this is probably the last time we're going to see Maggie, but maybe I'll do another shot one more time, say farewell to her as she drives off with the new owner, and show you guys how great she can look when she's very clean and washed and polished and waxed and stuff. And maybe we'll talk about this. Or not. We'll just say goodbye to Maggie.